Hello friends, welcome to CJoy Yoga. I recently was with some loved ones who were looking for just some nice, gentle yoga moves to start to open up their pelvis and their hips. One of them has some fibromyalgia, another one just sits a lot for work. You know, whatever your reasoning is, if you just want to get into this area in a really gentle way, and if you're a little intimidated by yoga, and I don't know if I can do yoga kind of a thing, this would be a nice, gentle way to introduce you to some stretches. That would be great for you. So, first, let's just take a couple of moments and bring awareness into our body. I am on a chair where I'm not on wheels, right? I'm sturdy. And hopefully where your knees can be the height of your hips or thereabouts. And my heels are directly underneath my knees. So find that chair. If you need to turn it off for a second or pause the video, then come back and come into this setup, hit play, and we'll be together again. Right? My hands can be palms up or palms down. That part really is not very important at all. But the length of the spine is, so you're going to stay where you are, but I'm going to turn sideways. You'll notice I'm sitting on the edge of my chair so that just my buttocks, bones are grounded. My thighs still have the ability to have freedom to move down, right? And then I'm looking at your spine, thinking about your spine. I'm not looking at it. So try to find the very middle of your buttocks bones. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, there are these two protrusions that stick out of the bottom of your pelvis, and it's what you sit upon, right? The sits bones, or sit bones, some people call them. So first let your frontal hip points roll a little forward, and you'll be on the front of your buttocks bones. And then let those same points move back, and you'll be on the back of your buttocks bones. So go ahead and do that a few times. Roll forward onto the front of your buttocks bones, letting the frontal hip points move forward. I'm in a little low back bend. And then I'm going to pull my belly back, my frontal hip points back, and I'm going to round the spine behind me. I'm on the back of my buttocks bones. Do that one more time. By the way, this is called cat-cow, pelvic tilts. Inhale, reach the chest forward and up a little bit this time with it, so we get a little more upper back action. And exhale, as I pull my frontal hip points back, I'm in the back of my buttocks bones. I'm going to let my spine round behind me. And then I'm going to make that motion a little smaller until I'm right on the very middle of the buttocks bones. We'll go into cat-cow a little more in a bit. That's a lovely one. But as I find the middle of my buttocks bones, can the spine then elongate up out of the rest of the, out of the pelvis? Hands can be palms up or down. That part really does not matter. Close the eyes, and I like to remind people that we're not being rigid, right? We're lengthening that spine and getting a little taller without crunching in all of the muscles and the fascia around that. So can you soften your eyebrows, your forehead, your jaw, your tongue, your shoulders, arms, hands, and fingers? Can your legs have a certain softness here? And then take just a few moments and feel your feet on the earth. What part of your feet is on the earth? Do you have more weight in the inner edge or the outer edge, the heel or the ball mounds of the toes? And maybe push down evenly through all four corners of each foot. And again, without being rigid, that's just a light pressure. Bring your awareness into your breath. And let your belly be so soft that when you inhale, the belly floats out away from the spine. And when you exhale, the belly floats back in towards the spine. And let's do that 2 more times. Inhale and let that belly just float away from the spine. Notice my terminology. And exhale, the belly floats back in. Last time, 1 more breath together. Inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and open the eyes. You're going to try to keep that soft belly breath going the whole time. My cats are both just going to talk the entire time I film today, no matter what I do. So pardon me for the cats talking to you. Walk that left foot a little forward, especially if you're tight in your, keep the feet where they are. Let's do some more of those cat-cows. So again, I'm going to go into a back bend. I'm going to let my frontal hip points move forward. I'm going to think about my chest reaching a little forward and a little up. My gaze might go up a little bit. Don't hurt your neck. Exhale, pull the belly in and round the whole spine behind you, and let that head come down towards the chest lightly. Inhale, shoulder blades down the back. reach the chest forward and up, reach the frontal hip points a little forward, and then exhale, think about curling in as if you're curling around, say, a beach ball or something like that. And another one, inhale, shoulder blades down the back, reaching the chest forward. Remember, in yoga, that the breath is just as important as the movement. Exhale, pull the belly in and round the spine. Again, maybe thinking about rounding around a beach ball. And come back to neutral. Now we're going to go into that leg stretch, that outer hip stretch actually. Walk your left foot a little forward. You can always hold on to your chair if it doesn't feel stable. And you're going to try to bring that right foot up. Now, some of my friends, you might grab onto your pant leg. If this doesn't work, by the way, then you're going to skip this particular stretch. But for most of my friends, you can probably get your leg up to, shin up to the knee. Now you can either leave the foot there or you can walk it back a little bit, the left foot. Flex the right foot so the knee stays protected. Your knee may be a little higher. As long as the knee's not in pain, you're all right. Just let the leg have weight. You can grab onto the edges of the chair, right? Then I'm going to give you two versions. Shoulder blades down the back and find the long spine. You can also grab onto your shin and pull against the shin lightly in order to find the same motion. And then from there, you're going to start to fold over. Now, I don't let my chin lead the way, and I don't go into a spinal rounding position. I keep my spine long, I keep my spine long, I keep my spine long, and then I'm going to start to feel that outer right hip getting a stretch. And you're just going to breathe here. And I know you don't have lungs, but imagine, if you will, that you have lungs down there, or just bring your awareness down there and just ask this area to soften as much as it can today. One more breath, inhale, and exhale there. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to bring that foot, bring the body up, and then bring that foot back down. And just take a moment between sides. Notice your right hip and notice your left hip. Walk your right foot a little forward, and you're going to bring that left foot up. And again, if you need to grab your pants leg or something to help it into position, that's fine. Flex the left foot and let that left thigh be as heavy as it can be. The right foot, it might stay where it is, it might walk back a little bit. Two arm versions. Arms beside you, grabbing onto the chair. I pull against the chair to try to find my long spine, or I might grab onto my shin and get my long spine that way. And then I start to do that forward fold, but again, I don't round my spine to do it. I keep my spine straight, and I keep it long, and I come forward just as much as I can until I start to feel that outer left hip getting a stretch in it. And go ahead and take another breath there. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, reach that chest forward and up, and go ahead and bring that leg back down, that foot back down to the ground. And again, just take a moment and notice your left outer hip, your right outer hip. So that's the largest glute muscle, the largest buttocks muscle that we just stretched. Other things too, but mainly that. We're going to go into a twist next. So, since I don't know the chair that you're working with, we're going to work it in this way today. You're going to bring your left hand either to your inner left thigh or your outer right thigh. Either one is valid and good. Don't pull the shoulder out of the socket to get something. Keep a long spine. And then bring your right hand back, your right hand back, and either on the arm of the chair or maybe on the back of the chair or right behind your right hip would be another great place for it. Before you twist any further, inhale, get really, really, really long through the spine. And then with your exhale, shoulder blades down the back, use your core first, starting to turn in. And once your core brings you as far as it can, if you keep it really soft, you can pull lightly with the left arm, push lightly with the right fingertips, and move in a little more. Now this is where I like to remind my eager beavers to please not be super rigid and don't force yourself into the twist. There's not a lot of benefit that comes from that. You can probably do more harm than you can good. Take one more breath, turning the head as far as you comfortably can. Let that neck get a stretch here too. And then go ahead and turn the body forward towards the front of the room. We'll call it the front of the room anyway. Your right hand on the inner right thigh or the outer left leg. Left fingertips on the side of the chair, the back of the chair, right next to the hip on the chair itself, the seat. Inhale, get really, 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 really tall. And before you use those arms, use your side waist. Engage the core and start to use the side waist to come in. And then once you've gotten as far as you can, keep the shoulder blades down the back. Don't round the spine, but lightly, lightly pull with your right hand. Push with your left fingertips. and you might get a little further in. Now to complete it, the very last thing to turn is the head. Maybe that head can turn a little further in without cranking on the neck. One more breath here, inhale, and exhale. Turn the body forward again, hands on the thighs, and just pause, take a breath. So especially as we start to age, right, we start to lose that mobility, and we start to see that old man or old woman turning but not being able to turn and having to move the whole body. So hopefully we're going to keep this a little more limber for you so that you keep that mobility as you age. Let's go ahead and go into one more series here before we end, and this is a lateral stretch. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to bring your hands onto the sides of your chair, assuming you can. If not, again, you might just be on the seat right next to the hips. You're going to reach that left arm for you forward and up, bicep next to ear. If you have a shoulder injury, as I know some of you do, or at least one of you I know, right? That hand just might stay on the hip. From there, get nice and tall, and then you're going to start to go into a side bend over towards the right? So if I can grab that outer edge of the chair, I can always utilize that just to hold myself on that chair nice and stable. Either variation, you're bending the spine, which is great. It's one of the movements of the spine. Now, can you sink your left buttocks bone down more, and then can you lengthen out and up and away from that? Take one more breath, inhale. If it's okay with the neck, turn to look up towards the bicep-ish. That doesn't have to be exact. Don't hurt your neck to do it. And then inhale, reach that arm up and out and over to bring you up. Left fingertips, wherever they're the most comfortable, or grabbing the edge of the chair. Reach the right arm forward and up, and exhale, or hand on hip, and move into that lateral stretch. So I'm not trying to crank myself into a C or anything like that. I'm trying to lengthen both sides of my waist. My left side's just going to get a little longer with this position. Sink that, or right side, sorry. Sink the right buttocks bone down and lengthen out and away from that. And then with your next inhale, if it's okay in your body, you're going to just turn your head towards that upper arm, whatever that is to you. And then I'm going to reach that upper arm, that right arm up and out and down to bring me back up to seated. Hands on the thighs, palms up or palms down. Close the eyes. One more time, trying to find the middle of your buttocks bones. And then can the rest of the spine grow up tall out of that? Bring your hands together right in front of your heart. Take an inhale. With an exhale, just bow your head in, just giving a moment of gratitude that you actually did this practice. And I will always say namaste. The translation is the light that shines within me sees and honors the light that shines within you. You don't have to say it back if you don't want to. Namaste.